It's been a frosty start to the day for much of central South Africa, in particular over the Free State and some of the surrounding areas. Now it's going to remain cold and dry across the region for the rest of today as well. Further south, over a waterlogged Western Cape, another cold front moves through, although it's much weaker than what we've experienced over the past few days, still bringing in a few showers across that region, while over northern South Africa it remains clear and dry and the warm weather conditions continue over Limpopo. The South African Weather Service has issued 3 alerts for today. The first is a warning for gale force winds expected between Mossel Bay and Port Alfred. Those winds are gradually going to moderate during the course of the day. The second is a warning for high seas with wave heights between 6 and 7 meters between Plettenberg Bay and East London. And finally, the Weather Service has also issued a special weather advisory for very cold conditions over parts of the northern and eastern Cape high ground. A closer look at today's rainfall probabilities, where there's up to a 20% chance of light rain at first over parts of eastern KwaZulu-Natal. Those conditions will gradually be clearing today, while over the Western Cape, showers still in the forecast, up to a 60% chance between Cape Point and Cape Agulhas. Further inland and along the south coast, isolated showers are expected. Moving ahead now to the maximums, where it's going to be especially warm over the far northern and eastern parts of the country. 24 degrees for Pretoria, Mbombela as well as Richards Bay, but cold once again over the central parts, mid-teens for the Free State, and even colder than that over parts of the Northern Cape interior. 8 for Sutherland and 12 for De Aard. It remains cool across the southern and west coasts of the country. Taking a closer look at coastal conditions now, where wave heights are gradually going to be decreasing along the western coastline today, averaging at 4.5 meters during the late afternoon hours. Southeasterly winds becoming fresh for Alexander Bay, up to 35 kilometers per hour. Further south, westerly to northwesterly winds dominate. Strong winds once again around the Cape Agulhas area, while around the peninsula we're expecting fairly light winds, 20 kilometers per hour into Table Bay. For the south coast, very windy conditions are expected across this area, not forgetting that we could experience gales at first for some places. Average wind speeds between 45 and 55 kilometers per hour, and along with that, a very rough sea averaging at 6 meters. And finally, for the east coast of the country, light winds in the forecast from Richards Bay through to the Wild Coast between 15 and 20 kilometers per hour. Northwesterly winds getting gusty at times for East London this afternoon, and we're expecting swells to be at about 2.5 to 3 meters for KwaZulu-Natal, but between 3 and 4 meters further south, especially around the East London area.
News that moves. eNCA.com.